I am an African.
Declaring that I am an African seems like an obvious thing to say, but what is less obvious is why anyone would be proud to be an African.
I owe my being to the hills and the valleys, the mountains and the glades, the rivers, the deserts, the trees, the flowers, the seas, and the ever-changing seasons that define the face of our native land.
My body has frozen in our frosts and in our latter-day snows. It has thawed in the warmth of our sunshine and melted in the heat of the midday sun. The crack and the rumble of the summer thunders, lashed by startling lightning, have been a cause of both trembling and of hope.
The dramatic shapes of the Drakensberg, the swirl-colored waters of the Lekwa, Igili, Notugela, and the sands of the Kalahari have all been panels of the set of our natural stage, on which we act out the foolish deeds of the theatre of our day.
What the I Am an African speech means to me is an affirmation of all things that are African and beautiful in their Africanness. There was a time when people were not proud to be African, where it was something to be hidden away, something to be ashamed of. People didn't crow about their Africanness. This speech affirmed to me everything that I'd always known to be true and that I'd always believed, that we are blessed to belong to such a beautiful continent, that we are made up of many different peoples, and that we have nothing but success in our futures.
I am formed of the migrants who left Europe to find a new home on our native land. Whatever their own actions, they remain still part of me.
I am the grandchild of the warrior men and women that Insansi Kukuni led. The patriots that Tetshwayo and Mpepu took to battle. The soldiers Mushweshwe and Ngung'unyane taught never to dishonor the cause of freedom.
I'm also able to state this fundamental truth, that I'm born of a people who are heroes and heroines. I am born of a people who would not tolerate oppression.
The significance of the speech to me is its inclusiveness. Regardless of who you are, where you're from, you are still part of South Africa, and you are still part of Africa as a whole. And for me, that's what I value, and that's what I take away from the speech.
In April 1994, the Constitutional Assembly was tasked with the mandate of birthing a new nation. Can you think of a greater or more daunting task?
The time had come to make a superhuman effort, to be other than human, to respond to the call to create for ourselves a glorious future, to remind ourselves of the Latin saying, Gloria est consequenda, glory must be sought after.
This time around, violence, unlike 1994, was not the concern. The concern was failure. Would we be victorious? As history now tells us, we were, because on 8 May 1996, there was a constitution to present to the people, which was adopted with an 87% majority.
The Constitution, whose adoption we celebrate, constitutes an unequivocal statement that we refuse to accept that our Africanness shall be defined by our race, our color, our gender, or our historical origins.
It gives concrete expression to the sentiment we share as Africans and will defend to the death that the people shall govern.
It rejoices in the diversity of our people and creates the space for all of us voluntarily to define ourselves as one people.
It was on this day that Thabo Mbeki delivered his seminal speech, celebrating the achievement of a people for adopting a constitution that recognizes that rights and privileges are not for a select few, but are innate and universal.
Our sense of elevation at this moment also derives from the fact that this magnificent product is the unique creation of African hands and African minds.
A collective pact had been forged by a notoriously divided nation, that we, the people, believe that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, both black and white. What we did on that day set an international precedent. No matter where you stand on the political spectrum, you cannot disagree with the sentiment, I am an African.
This thing that we've done today in this small corner of a great continent that has contributed so decisively to the evolution of humanity says that Africa reaffirms that she is continuing her rise from the ashes. Whatever the setbacks of the moment, nothing can stop us now. Whatever the difficulties, Africa shall be at peace. However improbable it may sound to the skeptics, Africa will prosper. Whoever we may be, whatever our immediate interest, however much we carry baggage from our past, however much we have been caught by the fashion of cynicism and loss of faith in the capacity of the people, let us add today and say, nothing can stop us now.
Today,
Today,
it feels good.
It feels good.
It feels good to be an African.
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 To be an African.